Hey, YouTube, Scarpad from Scarpad Domain here with you. How's everybody doing tonight? Little live stream, impromptu live stream to do a little unboxing here and probably look at some of the movies coming up for the summer. So, how's everybody doing? I see Entropy and Comics was in real early tonight. I don't know if he's coming back or not, Kev. And who knows, may even have some people pop in here. Hey, Perry, how's it going, Perry? Station All, how's it going, Perry? So, what are we doing here tonight? Well, I from time to time get a box from my choice distributor of figures and whatnot, Big Bad Toy Store, because they allow you to do what they call piles of loot. And what are piles of loot? Well, piles of loot is when you take everything that you've ordered for, 9 months, and when they get them in, they throw them in a pile of loot. And then at some point, within 90 days, you have to say, ship them all to me, or ship some of them to me, and you get to kind of ship them out. Of course, you got to pay them all ahead of time, but you can kind of like parcel them out. That way you're not getting one or two things shipped. So, what did I get my pile of loot? That's what I'll look at. And we'll also probably talk about some movie stuff, some Blu-ray stuff, and who knows what else. Today I went to see the new Dungeons and Dragons flick. I thought that was pretty good. I guess we could talk about that a little bit. And, see what comes up from there on out. So, the box I got over here is got quite a bit of stuff in it, actually, because I waited till I had about maybe 5 or 6 things at least to ship things out. And you guys probably noticed this is my upstairs streaming area. This is where I do my gaming streaming and whatnot. So I figured I'd shuffle up a little bit here and, give you a little bit different location. So what are we going to look at? Let's look at a couple things here. Let's pull out one thing, reach my claw. Oh, this is very interesting. A NECA. Alf. I mean, people remember Alf from 1980s, I think it was, by early 80s. Alf, alien life form. 8 cats. And this is from NECA. I think that just came out recently. Take a look at what's inside here. Well, that's pretty cool. And we have Alf with his, bucket of popcorn. See if we can get that in there a little bit better. And there he is. Looks like he comes with a bowl of popcorn, a hoagie sandwich. Now, does he have a cat? Because he eats cats, so he likes to try to eat cats. He's got a picture of Alf. He got extra hands. It does look like he has a bag of cats. And a microphone. It's a really pretty cool figure. I know Alf is streaming, so I think you can go to Tubi. I think it's Tubi or one of those stations, one of those things. I saw that Alf is available on. I like NECA stuff because they are pretty diverse in what they put out. And this looks pretty good. Even the bowl of popcorn looks pretty good. They got Pepsi in there. Microphone. Picture of himself. Includes a fabric shirt. Oh yeah, because he always wore that. He always wore that Hawaiian shirt. So it includes a fabric shirt, a cat sandwich, a cat sandwich, soda can, sunglasses, ham radio. Always got ham radio. That is cool because I'm a ham radio guy. And he does. He has a ham radio there. See him? That's cool. That's really cool. And he's got bag of slime balls, picture frame, and interchangeable hands. Alf. I might have to take that one out of the box, make a little display. Probably down by my radio. Very cool. I'm pretty happy with that one. Let's see what's next. This is another NECA. No, this is a Diamond Select. How many of you guys remember Kato from the Green Hornet? This is a Diamond Select figure. Wish we had a little bit better lighting here. Kato Deluxe action figure. Bruce Lee played Kato in the Green Hornet series that ran from like, 68 to maybe to 69, 70. It only lasted one season. And it's been tied up in a lawsuit ever since. And that's why, even though they put out the live action Batman, and the Green Hornet was spun off of Batman and was actually produced by the same company, the Green Hornet's not on video, and Batman is, unfortunately. Because the Green Hornet was kind of a cool, he had that Black Beauty car, and it was pretty cool. Over 16 points of articulation. Well, now they got to come out with a Green Hornet. They have Kato. We're going to have a Green Hornet to go with them. 7-inch deluxe. So I guess Diamond distributing, same people who do the comic books, I guess. That's why it's always in the previews. So there's the Green Hornet. Kind of cool. And we have Entropy and Comics came in earlier. Dactana 65. How you doing, Dactana? Of course, Perry's in the house. You, what's up? What's up, Perry? Is that Batman up there? Is that Batman up there? That Batman. Hey, who that Batman? Is that Batman up there? Up there? Where? Where are you seeing? Perry, you're seeing Batman everywhere. Like I knows Alf. It is very cool. Very cool. Let's see what else we got in this box. Oh. Ooh, another Turtles figure from NECA. Leonardo as the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like how he's got a little beard. There he is. So NECA came out with a whole series of these turtles as universal monsters. They had the Mummy and Frankenstein. And the Invisible Man just came out. Bride of Frankenstein, April O'Neil. And the rat, I forget what's the rat's name. I forget what the rat's name was. But Splinter, that's why it was Splinter. Behind the NBA jams. Yes, you got a good eye back there. There is a Batman back there. Perry can spot the Batmans from a mile away. There is a Batman up there. Okay, very good, Perry. Good eye for the Batman sighting. That is cool. That's the Hunchback. That one's probably one of the coolest figures around. Holy crap. These would make a really nice display. Look at that. He's got the hunch and everything. He's got the hunch shell. That's really cool. I like that. The box is a little dark, though. I mean, you can't see much on the box itself, but really cool. Really cool. Let's see what else we got. Yeah. All right, so these started coming out. So a while back, I showed a house of 1,000 corpses. Hey, missing link, how's it going? Good to see you in here. And we'll have to show the stuff again in a little bit for the people who missed it so far. But um, I would say it's about maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I showed the box Trick or Treat Studios. It was like the collector's case for all the House of 1,000 Corpses figures. And so far, the only one I've gotten in was the Captain Spaulding figure, which I showed last week, I think, on Dylan's Horse Show. We had a little show and tell thing we do at the end of each episode. I showed that one. Well, I got the rest of them in today. So you'll get the first looks at these. This is Otis Driftwood. So these are all designed to fit inside that case, but I think I'm going to be keeping them in the boxes because the boxes are kind of cool. And it looks like he comes with a lantern there and a book. And what is that? Oh, is this a? No, that's a piece. What's back there, I think, is they have a build a figure in this. So I think each one of these comes with a piece to build the other figure that's in the case. So that's Otis Driftwood. That's when he's made up there at the end. This is the Ripping Axe Professor. This is one of the cooler figures. And you didn't get to see him too much. He was at the end of the movie there, of course, in the caves below. Actually, none of those characters really made no sense down there, but they were down there. That's the Ripping Axe Professor. All the stuff he comes with. Look at that. And there's the back of the box. So that's pretty cool. The Ripping Axe Professor. Couple more here, I think. Baby Firefly and Fish Boy. They actually, you remember Fish Boy in that movie? She made the guy into Fish Boy, one of the guys. So they give you Fish Boy as an accessory. So there's Baby Firefly and Fish Boy. And these are put out by Trick or Treat Studios, who's also doing the Terrifier 2 figures. There's Baby Firefly and Fish Boy, a little biographical bit there now. And finally, probably the best figure in the bunch, Dr. Satan. This is Dr. Satan. Kind of a weird conglomeration of Texas Chainsaw Massacre's Leatherface with mixed with maybe the Driller Killer because he's got a nice big drill there. He comes with all the accessories there. So that's Dr. Satan. Guess it has Driller Killer action, tells you how to do that. And another thing I like about Big Bad Toy Company is a lot of the stuff comes really in nice condition. Yeah. So that's everything I got from Big Bad Toy Company. And we'll show those off again in a little bit for anybody who may have missed them. Yeah, what's up, Link? How you going? and Big Bad Toy Company. I recommend them. They get fairly good prices. The only downside with them is they do take a little bit longer than most to get stuff in. So if you want stuff right away, you may want to go somewhere else like Entertainment Earth. But Big Bad Toy Company, they will usually get it, but it may be a few weeks afterwards. Before they ship them out there. So that's everything I got from Big Bad Toy Company. We'll show those again a little bit. So today I went over to a theater that I used to go to in my youth in the 70s, called Agawam Twin Cinemas. It used to be a Jerry Lewis cinema before that franchise got dissolved in the 80s. I remember going there seeing things like back then they never really had first run movies. They did have some, but they didn't get some of the big ones. But they got a lot of the Roger Corman films. The Humanoids from Deep. They would show the Godzilla movies. They might show the Bond movies on second run. They did get some first run stuff. I remember seeing, I think, Silver Streak there, the one with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor when that came out. And then they closed down in, I would say, probably sometime in the 90s. Sat vacant for about 10 years until the current people renovated it and reopened it. So I went there today. Still not top of line theater. They don't have the comfortable seats. They have tables in back of all the chairs, so you have a little place to put your popcorn. So I guess okay. You can kind of stretch out a little bit, but they don't really recline. They got like bleacher seats, something you'd see at Fenway Park, whatnot. And I went to see the Dungeons and Dragons movie. What's it called? Dungeons and Dragons something. I forget. Probably didn't leave much of an impression. No, I enjoyed the movie. It's kind of no spoilers. I mean, it's kind of a lighthearted wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Take it, Dungeons and Dragons, and I guess that's why a lot of big Dungeons and Dragons guys, they don't like it because it's not a serious film. It does get a little bit more serious, I think, in the third act with some consequences and so forth. But it's fun. It's a fun movie. It's a romp. Chris Pine is winking through the whole thing. Chris Pine is good actor for those type of movies. He was good in Wonder Woman, and even though I don't like the Star Trek movies for their content, I don't mind Chris Pine as James Kirk. I thought if they had given him a halfway decent script and a story, then he could have done pretty well. But they didn't. So there's that. I liked him in Unstoppable. He was good with Denzel Washington. That train movie that came out, that was a decent flick. So, I mean, it was a decent movie. You had the girl there from Fast and Furious. I forget her name. I can't remember half these people's names. She was good in it. Then you had the guy. Oh my God, I can't remember the guy from all the romantic flicks. The English dude, but it was enjoyable, entertaining. It was a little long, 2 hours and 15 minutes, but it never really seemed dull or anything. Probably my favorite characters in the movie is probably that Suedo magician magic guy. He was pretty cool. The guy that wasn't much of a wizard. And there's a couple good scenes in there. I like the scene with the fat dragon. I won't say any more than that. Everybody's gonna go see it. So I'd recommend seeing it. If you don't see it in the theater, I mean, you don't have to run out to see it. I'm sure it'll be streaming in the not too distant future, and you can check it out there. It's a good one either way. But this is going to be a good year for movies. I think I'm going to find myself going to a lot more movies than I have been in a while. So I thought one of the things we might talk about is what is coming up for movies this year in the cinema. So let me pull this baby up on the screen here. You don't need to see me. Starting April 4th, which was yesterday. And there's some interesting movies here. Now, I'm not going to go see all these, obviously, and probably only a very few, but maybe look for some of these when they come out. So we got this movie here, One Day as a Lion, with J.K. Simmons, Frank Grillo, Virginia Madsen, and Taryn Manning. Good cast. J.K. Simmons, of course, was in Spider-Man and Glorious and Oz and a whole bunch of stuff. He's always a solid guy. Frank Grillo seems to be getting a lot more roles. So what's the plot of this? Jackie Powers will stop at nothing to prevent his son from following him into a life of crime with the mob employee in pursuit. A chance encounter roadside diner. Tries to do bad. Actually, I did see the preview for this, so this does look pretty good. So this is one that I will probably definitely catch when it hits streaming or video or something. Try to catch that because the previews did look pretty good on that. The Fist of the Condor, I don't know anything about that. A group of martial arts artists from around the world search for a book that contains the ancient secret of how to overcome the limits of the human body. Okay. Doesn't sound, I don't know. All right, I guess. I don't know any of those actors, so it looks like a foreign film. Let's see. Coming out April 5th, starting on Friday. Air, that's going to be a big one. Saw the previews for that. I don't think I'll see it in the theater, but I definitely will watch that when it comes out, when it hits the streamers and when it hits the video. Obviously, Air is with Matt Damon playing the guy who discovered Michael Jordan. Well, didn't discover Michael Jordan, but paired him with the Nike people to make that historic contract. Jason Bateman, Ben Affleck, Chris Messina's got a good cast. Don't know who is that who's directing that? It doesn't say here. I don't know if that's being directed by Affleck or not. But that looks pretty interesting. Super Mario Brothers actually was out today. It came out a day early. It was in the theater next to me when I went to see Dungeons and Dragons. It's animations. Chris Pratt obviously is Mario and Charlie Day, Jack Black. So a good cast. I don't know if I'll see that in the movies. I might, but I'm not sure though. It's possible. One True Love's comedy, drama, romance. Not really big on romantic comedies. I'll probably skip that one. So April 7th, right on. Oh yeah, Jackie Chan coming out with a new movie. Jackie Chan's getting a bit a washed-up stuntman. Well, there you go. And his stunt horse became an overnight social media sensation when a real-life fight with debt collectors go viral. No. Probably will not see that in the theater, definitely. But I don't know. I like Jackie Chan, even though some of his newer movies are a bit lame. Paint, that's that movie with Owen Wilson kind of doing his take on Ross, there, Bob Ross. So it looks like kind of a spoof on that. That looks interesting. But once again, I don't know if I'll see that in the theater. I kind of tend to doubt it. But definitely one I'm interested in seeing. Showing Up, Michelle Williams, comedy drama. Yeah, it's interesting, but probably not for me. The Doom Generation. That's an old movie with James Duval, Rose McGowan. I think I have seen that. It's a re-release. That came out quite some time ago. Joyland. Not familiar with Joyland. The Line. Don't know much about that. Play Dead. Horror thriller with Bailey Matz and Jerry O'Connell. So that looks interesting. Chloe faked her own death to steal evidence from a morgue. The coroner uses the morgue as a front for a sick and twisted business. A scary game of cat and mouse ensues as Chloe learns more about the dead than she bargains for. Vertical Entertainment. Looks interesting, but maybe one that's more apt to see on Shudder or something. Imagining the Indian. Don't know anything about that. So April 12th. Let's go back and see if anybody has any comments on any of these movies. Are you going to be seeing anything? Any of these look interesting? Or anything that piques your interest? Beautiful Disaster, Virginia Gardner, don't know much about that. Another drama romance. Tommy Guns, drama war that looks like a foreign film. 20th anniversary of Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. I saw that. There's gonna be a Fathom re-release. I've been to a few of these Fathom event movies. I'm quite disappointed in them. I went with the when they had Star Trek, the motion picture came out for the 20. I think it was the 30th anniversary or 40th anniversary. The quality of the movies, they're almost like digital projections of them. They don't get real good 4K prints. Honestly, watching them at home is just as fulfilling as seeing some of these Fathom re-releases. If they really had done this Lord of the Rings, Return of the King up right, and they had, remastered it, and I don't know, did something with it. But anybody that hasn't seen Lord of the Rings, Return of the King in the theater, probably worth going to see. Definitely one that you really need to see in the theater. The Lost Weekend, a love story. Julian Lennon. Wow. David Bowie. What's this about? A love story that took 50 years to tell, exposes the 18-month romantic relationship between John Lennon and his Chinese American assistant, May Pang. Well, obviously, was that before or after he was doing his wife there? Because Yoko probably would go ballistic on his ass. Probably why Yoko wasn't too happy. John was screwing around. Interesting, but it's hard to really, deal with these movies that the people aren't around to really substantiate them. April 14th, Mafia Mommy, comedy crime. Tony Collette, Monica Bellucci, and Sofia Nomavete, Alexandro Belisano. I mean, I always get off on Toni Collette there. She's a good actress. Looks interesting, but probably not in my wheelhouse. I would go see it. A couple next ones here. This is interesting here. Renfield, I am going to go see. Hour and 33 minutes, short movie, but that's not always too bad. Nicholas Hoult, Nicolas Cage, Aquafina, and Ben Schwartz. Obviously, Renfield is a comedy, fantasy, horror, although it does look like it has quite a bit of horror in it. Renfield was Dracula's henchman. He was in the old movies, obviously not played for laughs. And in the old movies, usually get dispensed of rather quickly. But he's an inmate in the lunatic asylum for decades, long, so life away from the count. And it really looks like an interesting, funny, and another knockout performance from Nicolas Cage, who is just he just picks some interesting projects, and I'm glad he shed the mainstream, because if he went mainstream and all his movies were like The Rock, which were great, he made great movies in the 90s. But I'm so glad he tried different things, because it got us things like Willy's Wonderlands, Mom and Dad, Pig, even though I didn't think that was one of his better ones, but it was interesting. And the unbearable being of that last movie he put out with Pedro Pascal was great. So man, Nicolas Cage is an underrated guy. May make fun of him for the movies he makes, but he makes some decent movies. He really does. So Renfield is definitely one I'm going to go see. This movie, The Pope's Exorcist, looked pretty interesting with Russell Crowe. But I don't know. Sometimes these political, religious horror movies can go awry. Hour and 43 minutes, doesn't look too bad. Hopefully he's not doing the same accent as Zeus from the Ant-Man. Well, not Ant-Man. Zeus was in the Thor movie, Love and Thunder. That wacko Love and Thunder movie. Beau is Afraid. This one looked interesting. This one looked like it's trying to cover all bases. Comedy, drama, horror, mystery. 3-hour movie. I'll pass, but I might catch it. Joaquin Phoenix, Parker Posey, Nathan Lane, Great cast. Following the sudden death of his mother, a mal-mannered but anxiety-ridden man confronts his darkest fears as he embarks on an epic Kafka-esque odyssey back home. That does look like a very interesting movie. It looks like he's playing multiple parts here. So that could be pretty interesting. But we'll see. Everything went fine. Sophie Marceau. Nefarious. Here's Nefarious. It's a horror thriller. Sean Patrick. Oh, and I think Beau is Afraid is an A24 film. That's probably the longest A24 film I think I remember seeing. But A24 can be hit and miss, but they usually do some pretty interesting things. Nefarious. Sean Patrick Flannery. We haven't seen too much of him since the Dead Zone days. On the day of his scheduled execution, a convicted serial killer gets a psychiatric evaluation during which he claims he is a demon and further claims that before the time is over, the psychiatrist will commit 3 murders of his own. Sounds like one of these movies that maybe is a one-room type thing where they're sitting there talking back and forth. Almost like Glorious, maybe a little bit. But that sounds interesting. Could be good, could be bad. Sweetwater, biography, drama, sport, Rare Objects, Katie Holmes, Suzume. Looks like an animation. Looks like we're getting a re-release of Big Lebowski. Good movie. Let's see. April 21st. Say I Do to Me. It looks like a comedy. It looks like a Japanese comedy. To Catch a Killer. The Tank, or a thriller. After mysteriously inheriting an abandoned coastal property, Ben and his family accidentally unleash an ancient, long-dormant creature that terrorized the entire region, including his own ancestors for generations. Intriguing. The Tank. Carmen is a musical. Other People's Children. And there you go. Covers Evil Dead Rise, coming out the 15th. That looks really good. I will be definitely going to see that. Looks like it's an hour and 37-minute runtime. That's perfect for an Evil Dead movie. I mean, I don't think you need an Evil Dead movie to overstay its welcome. And that one definitely won't, an hour and 37 minutes, so it could be nice and tight. Twisted tale of two estranged sisters. The reunion is cut short by the rise of the flesh-possessing demons, thrusting them into a primal battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of family imaginable. The previews of this are just fantastic. So this could be the next big horror box office success. We'll see. River, documentary with William Dafoe narrating. Anything with William Dafoe is interesting. Somewhere in Queens, Ray Romano, Laurie Metcalf, Jeff Esposito. Sounds like another kind of like family, Italian family thing. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. Action crime thriller with Jake Gyllenhaal, Alexander Ludwig, Anthony Starr, and Jai Lee Miller. That cast is kicking. That is kicking. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant follows U.S. Army Sergeant John Kinley and Afghan interpreter Ahmed. Yeah, that looks interesting. That looks really good. I probably won't see it in the theater, but definitely want to check that out. War of the Worlds, The Attack. That sounds like it's direct-to-video type thing. We always saw Beau is Afraid. They must be re-soliciting that. Spirited Away. That's kind of old. Sid is Dead with Mary Stuart Masterson. That's somebody I haven't seen in quite some time. From the 80s on then, he's really. This is that next movie. The one's that's the 28th. This movie, Sisu, is going to be a kicker because it looks Really interesting. It looks really interesting. This is the flick with by the people who did John Wick. Ex-soldier who discovered gold in the Lapland's wilderness tries to take the loot into the city. Nazi soldiers led by brutal SS officers battle him. It is this is off the wall physical um, physical effects, practical effects, and just it looks like off the wall gore and action. This looks like it's going to be a interesting movie. Hour and 31 minutes. Lionsgate's going to have another hit in the hands, I think, with this one. I can't wait to see that, and I will be seeing that at the end of the month. This George Foreman movie, I don't know. It didn't look all that good to me when I saw, although he does have an interesting story. Polite Society, don't know anything about that. Are you gonna Born to Fly? Nope. Looks like we're getting another Flashdance re-release. May 5th, so we're into May, and May 5th, of course, is when Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out. Volume 3. This one looks like it's going to be the last one, or they're touting this as the last one. It's definitely going to be the last one for our man Dave Bautista, who's looking to, looks like he might get killed off in this. The previews could be deceiving, but so that looks interesting. 2.5 hours. Once again, Disney is still making their movies a bit on the long side. I would like to see most of these Disney movies get down to about 2 hours. I think they don't have enough story for 2.5 hours, a lot of them. It would be a lot tighter if they got down to about the 2 hour mark. 2.5 hours is kind of long, but it might be the swan song for these guys. So, maybe that's the reason why it's going to be a little bit longer. And that's okay. It does look good. We'll see. One Ranger with John Malkovich, Thomas Jane, Dominique Tipper, and Patrick Bergen. I like all that cast. Thomas Jane is great. It follows the Texas Ranger Jane as he is recruited by British intelligence to track down dangerous terrorists and stop them from attacking London. Sounds interesting. I'll always watch anything with Thomas Jane in it. So that takes us through May 7th. Let's see. Oh, that's actually all. Yeah, that's all of April, early May. So let's go into May here real quick. See what we got past that. See if we have anything interesting. Book Club, the next chapter. Really, Book Club movie made enough to have a sequel. Wow. Hypnotic action mystery thriller with Ben Affleck, William Fichtner, Jeff Fahey, good cast. A detective investigates a mystery involving a missing daughter and a secret government program. Sounds like something you see on the X-Files, maybe. But could be interesting. Sorry, guys. I got popped out there for a second. Didn't mean to do that. Make sure we're back in here. Cool beans. Okay. So let's go back and look at what's next here. Grease re-release, The Way, Martin Sheen. I mean, that's bad. So May 19th, we got Fast X coming out. Didn't see the other ones, probably won't see that. Black Lotus. Now Frank Grillo movie. The Machine, an action comedy with Mark Hamill and Jessica Bohr. Little Mermaid's coming out in the 26th. Kandahar with Gerard Butler. About My Father, Robert De Niro. I don't know, that looks like it might have had some funny stuff in it, but also that looks, I don't know. The Boogeyman. I saw the previews on that, The Boogeyman, adaptation of Stephen King's The Boogeyman, which I believe is a short story. That looked interesting. Don't know if I'd go see that in the theater, but Walt Disney Studio Motion Pictures adapting a Stephen King movie. Interesting. See what they do with that. Simulant, sci-fi thriller with Robbie Amell. Humanoids AI attempt to run over a widow's heart, places in the path of a government agent trying to stop the rise of machine consciousness. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Getting a live action version of that now, and that's coming. I haven't seen, when's that? That's June 2nd. I haven't seen one preview on that. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse for something that's coming out in June. Not one preview. So that's very interesting. Usually you'd see something about that in the theater. So let's see. Strays, the animation. Transformers Rise the Beasts, although the previews look better than Michelle Yeoh probably got involved in that before she won an award. Looks better than the last few Transformers, but I probably won't go see that. 97 minutes. What's that about? Alec Baldwin. A hijack 767 will cost 97 minutes. Once fuel runs out, appears to have the plane shut down before it does damage. Yeah. June 10th, June 16th. Asteroid City, comedy romance with Jason Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, and Jeffrey Wright. What a cast. Itinerary of a junior stargazer convention is spectacularly disrupted by world-changing events. That looks interesting. Jason Schwartzman's usually in pretty interesting flicks. Elemental, that's the next big sci-fi fantasy animation from Disney. There's The Flash. Definitely will be checking that out. You notice they don't have the runtime down here. So the runtime for this has not been released yet. It was interesting to see what the runtime of that would maybe be, but nothing yet. June 23rd, No Hard Feelings, Jennifer Lawrence, Wonder Well, Carrie Fisher. Okay. That must have been held on the shelf for a while. So June 30th, now we're getting Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So it's going to come out right around for 4th of July weekend. So that ought to be a pretty big movie, obviously. And that's June. Let's take a gander at what's coming out in July. And probably the next time we'll look at the rest of the year, but see what else is coming out. Insidious 5. Did they make that many Insidious movies? I've never seen Insidious. I'm going to have to watch that because I don't know how the other ones are, but I've heard good things about it, but I didn't realize there were up to 5 of them. So, the next Mission Impossible is going to be 2 parts to finish it up, I guess. Dead Reckoning Part 1. Definitely probably will see that because I anticipate that's going to be probably a pretty good flick. So they're re-releasing Terrifier. This is interesting. They're re-releasing Terrifier in the theaters on July 19th, which is about the time Terrifier 2 came out in the theater. They trying to trick people into thinking that that's a new movie, maybe. Because I'm sure it'll be another year before we get Terrifier 3. So looks like they're gonna try putting that out and see how that does. It'll probably do pretty well. Interesting. This Oppenheimer, that's directed by uh, Nolan, starring Cillian Murphy. That looks like a decent movie too. Matt Damon, Robert Downey. That probably looked like one to see in the theaters. Haunted Mansion. That looked interesting. I saw that today, a preview on top of the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Probably not want to see it in the theater, but definitely looked like it's worth watching. They're actually making a Meg 2, The Trench. My buddy Dylan there likes the shark movies. I'm sure you might be going to see. I might go see that one. The Meg was silly, but it was fun. And this has got Cliff Curtis in it with Jason Statham. Then we're getting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem with Giancarlo Esposito. Does that guy show up in every one of these movies? Paul Rudd, Rose Byrne, and Jackie Chan. I haven't seen any previews of that either. And that looks like that's it for June. So, like I said, a very interesting next few months at the movies. Quite a bit of stuff to go see. I'm pretty impressed. I'll be seeing a lot of those in the theaters. And real quick, I want to probably take a look here at another topic, which is the top 20 Blu-rays that sold recently. So let me go ahead and get that set up for you so you can take a look at that. So here we go. All right, so these are top 20 sellers for the week ending 3/25/23. Now, Blu-rays and 4Ks are really taking off, and so much stuff is coming out in 4K that I never dreamt would have come out on 4K. I mean, we're getting stuff now. I hate to buy anything on Blu-ray because as soon as I buy something on Blu-ray, it's going to come out on 4K. But still, it boggles my mind that most of these things sell on DVD. And you'll see that broken down here in this list. That people are still buying, when they're buying physical media, they're still buying primarily DVDs and Blu-rays. And it's astounding. So Megan is a hit. I saw it, didn't think it was all that bad, but apparently it's been number one bestseller for a while. And obviously I think girls and teenagers probably like the movie. 95.4 million in the box office. For Blu-ray, it's got 51% share. So everybody who's buying that, it's pretty much split right down the middle, whether they're buying it on Blu-ray or DVD, with a slight edge at the Blu-ray. And for a time there, they were always doing the Blu-rays and DVDs together, but now I guess they've kind of separated them out. But it really hasn't dropped the price of the discs anymore. Number 2 is this Man Called Otto. I haven't watched this yet. It looked kind of like this is the one with Tom Hanks. Kind of looked like a version of remember that movie Clint Eastwood did a few years back? What the heck was that? The Get Off My Lawn movie there. I'm going to say not Pink Cadillac, but it's the one where he lived next door to the family there, and he was a racist, and he took the kid in the wing. I can't remember that movie. But it's the name of the car there. It's the name of the movie. Kind of looked like a version of kind of like that. Tom Hanks plays a grumpy old dude. So I don't know. That didn't look all that interesting, but apparently people are buying it. It 31% Blu-ray share. So 65% of the people buying that movie are buying it on DVD. Oh, maybe that makes sense. Skews a little older. Yeah. Left Behind. This is one of those movies with the guy Hercules. 23% buying on Blu-ray, 63% on DVD, and probably buying those 63% at Walmart. Strange New Worlds is new entry for this week. So, yeah, Strange New Worlds is one of the more watchable, okay versions of Star Trek that we have from the crew that are currently running the Asylum. A lot of things in it I object to, but overall it's watchable, entertaining, and it's got a good cast. And that just came out on Blu-ray this past week or two. So 58% are buying that on Blu-ray. Now that's being released in May in 4K. First Star Trek TV. I think really the first TV title being released on 4K in May. So I'm waiting to get that in May. I think there's a steelbook coming out for that. Previously, number one is Dragon Ball Superhero was on number one for quite some time. Anime from Crunchyroll, and 100% of the people buying that are buying that on Blu-ray, which is probably telling me that it's probably not available on DVD. Babylon is number 6, 65% buying that on Blu-ray. Puss in Boots: Last Wish, number 7. Dragon Slayer, that's a re-release that came out. 33%. 89% is buying that on Blu-ray, or 4K. I think it got released then. Top Gun Maverick's hanging in there. That sold a ton. $7.718 million. That's amazing. But you look at that Blu-ray, 52% bought Top Gun Maverick on Blu-ray. Some of that's probably the 4K too. But almost 50% of that movie is still buying that movie on DVD. You know, a movie with the visuals to really make owning a Blu-ray or a 4K player is what you want, the sound, Dolby Atmos and all that, and they're buying it on DVD. I just don't figure it. Black Honda Wakanda Forever is number 10. And we're getting 42% buying on Blu-ray, 25% buying it on DVD. Oh, there's a UHD on the other end there. So yeah, Dragon Slayer 74% because I think it just came out on 4K only. But you can see like 43% for Everything Everywhere All at Once. People buying it on UHD. So that was primarily a Blu-ray title. The Walking Dead's 11th season just came out, and majority of people are still buying that on DVD. John Wick up has 2 of the spots on the thing. Up brings the 3 edition set. Most people are picking that up on Blu-ray and just the movie. And then at the bottom, Black Adam's down there pretty low. And then right at the bottom. So just by looking at this, the whales in there, where did that wind up? Number 11. We never figured a man Colorado would, but that's just streeted on the 14th. Doesn't seem like that one left behind, but and I'm really surprised Star Trek Strange New Worlds is up there so high. So it is a pretty popular show. But it just goes to show, amazingly enough, how many people are still buying DVD as conventional physical media. I don't think I bought a DVD in quite some time. I always, buy at least a Blu-ray, but interesting. DVDs still are the ruling format and still, and probably will be for quite some time. Even when things start going more and more niche. Although I do predict that you're going to start seeing DVD fall off as things do eventually go to more streaming, and we just get, I think, the boutique labels like your Vinegar Syndrome and Arrow and so forth, then you're gonna be seeing them shift to entirely Blu-ray and 4K. And I don't think I'll be doing as many DVDs. And maybe at that point, you might start seeing DVD really get less and less. So that's interesting, very interesting what's coming out and what's been tops on that list. So thank you guys for coming in here and just a little stream tonight to show off some of my stuff that I got from Big Bad Toy Store, and talk about a little bit of the movie stuff coming out for the summer. What will you be going to see? Will you be seeing it at home? Will you be seeing it in the movies? I found it interesting today when I went to see that Dungeons and Dragons movie that's this movie. I think even the last one I went to see, John Wick, started off with the entire cast thanking you for going to the movies. And this did the same. So I think every movie this summer is going to have that as they thank people for going out and seeing things in the movies. I wonder if Shazam had one of them because nobody watched that one. No one heeded the Shazam cast thanks and still didn't go to see that movie. But hey, I'll see you when it comes on video in a few weeks. All right, so I want to thank everybody for coming in here tonight and watch this on replay. If you got anything to add to it, if you like these figures, or if you like, tell me what movies you're going to be going to see this summer, put that in the comments, and subscribe if you're interested in the content. We will catch you hopefully on Friday. We'll see. We never know. For a Twilight Zone show. And then after that, of course, going to be here Saturday on Dylan's Horror Show. Going to be doing, what are we doing? This guy right here. I got him all queued up and ready to go. Where is it? This is the Critters collection, but we'll be doing 1 and 2. And then after that, I believe Robbie's going to do Stop. Don't shoot the babysitter. That movie is Stallone and Estelle Getty. I think he's doing that either Friday or Monday night. And then, of course, we'll be back next Monday night during 2010, the year we made Contact, the sequel to the great Kubrick masterpiece. So until then, we will catch you guys later. Have a good evening. Enjoy your physical media. Enjoy your toys. And have a good night, everybody.